Bob Kabel is synonymous not only with baseball but also with hockey in Western Canada, and maybe also with people drinking a little bit of beer from time to time. Bob, tell us about how you got started into baseball in Dauphin.
I got started in the late 40s and early 50s when Alec Robertson moved from Winnipeg here to be the recreational director in Dauphin, and just loved playing baseball for him. I learned so much from Alec, not only about baseball but about hockey too, because he was instrumental in getting my hockey career off to a quick start too. And when I was about 16, 17, I went to Flin Flon to play hockey, and I also played baseball up there. And then I came back and started with the Redbirds. I was 18 years old then, I guess, and played a little bit of junior ball and a little bit with the Redbirds. In those days, we had 7, 8 imports in, sure. Black guys from the United States, good ball players. Really enjoyed that. I learned a lot from them as well. And stayed in Dauphin until my hockey career started. I went out to Vancouver and played a little bit of baseball in the summertime out there because I didn't come back to Dauphin one summer. But missing that one summer in Dauphin really grated on me, so I came back to Dauphin. and I played until I guess about the mid 60s, maybe toward the end of the 60s, and really enjoyed those years in the Manitoba Senior Baseball League.
I'm sure you've got some highlights about those days with the Redbirds, but there is one item that I'm just looking at here, and it's a story in the paper about you stealing 3 bases in a row to win a ball game in the playoffs. You were playing Hamiota that year, and you got a single, you stole second, third, and home, all in sequence.
Right.
You remember that?
On 3 straight pitches.
Yeah.
And I received a phone call this morning from Gladwin Scott telling me not to tell that story, and I told him I wouldn't, but I lie sometimes, so I'm going to tell it. What happened was we were embroiled in a best-of-7 final with Hamiota, and Glennis Scott, Gladwin's brother, beat us a couple of times. Gladwin beat us once. We were playing the 6th game of the series in Dauphin. We had a little left-hander from British Columbia with us at that time, and he beat them twice. And in this particular game, he was the pitcher of record during that game. And it was a tie ball game, 3-3, bottom of the 8th, and I singled off of Gladwin, and then I stole second on the next pitch, and stole third on the next pitch. And Billy Murray, who you're quite familiar with, was up to bat, and we had a little signal that we always used. I would nod at him twice, and no matter where the pitch was, he would take a swing at it, so the catcher wasn't about to move up to the plate. And that's what happened on the 3rd pitch. I stole home, standing up.
Standing up.
Standing up. And I think I was about 4/5 of the way home before Gladwin even looked at me. And by that time, it was too late.
Well, he remembers it, and
yeah.
you do.
Oh, yeah. He's brought the story up many, many times at
sure.
different functions. Yes,
yeah.
We're close friends, and it was great. And then we went back to Hamiota. And Glennis was pitching that game, having won 2 already in the series, or 3, and we beat them 7-2. I think we beat them quite handily in that game, and it was really a thrill for all our guys, because we were primarily a tournament ball club. We could never seem to muster enough guys to come out and go and play league games in Binscarth or in not Foxwarren, but St. Lazare and Hamiota and Riverside and Brandon and that kind of stuff. We were always missing ball players. But tournament ball, it just seemed they always happened on the long weekends and stuff like that. So we were able to muster a full ball club there, and we won so many tournaments in that part of the province. It was unbelievable. Kamsack, Melita, Yorkton, Dauphin, Gilbert Plains, Grandview, Roblin, all over the place. I can't even remember a tournament that we made the final that we didn't win. And that was a tremendous experience for all of us. Yeah.
Not only your baseball days, but I'm sure your hockey days are really special as you think back on them. You had a good career in hockey before you eventually wound up with Labatt and became Western supervisor for them.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I made the National Hockey League for 5 months, and went back again the next year. And those days were tough. There were only 15 men on a hockey team, and 6 teams, 90 guys made the National Hockey League in those days, and so it was tough to stay. And I was there for a couple of good years, like that I really enjoyed. And then I was back in the Western Hockey League, the American League, the Quebec League, you name it. Yeah. I could have aptly been called Suitcase, but I wouldn't like that nickname.
You also were saluted at times for the support that you brought to bear from Labatt for all kinds of minor sport in Western Canada, Bob, and I'm sure there are some good memories there.
Oh, I had a wonderful time. I was big on the fundamentals of hockey, and when I was with Labatt's in the early years, we, in concert with Hockey Canada at that time, CAHA, I guess at that time, Hockey Canada now, we put together a coaching clinic that myself and a descendant of the famous Bentley family, Wally, went from city to city to city, Saskatoon, Regina, Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, and held hockey schools under the auspices of the CAHA. And I've since continued that in my life. In fact, last year was my 35th or 36th year holding hockey schools in and around Dauphin. I always spent a lot of time there, Grandview and places like that. And I have a host of young fellows that are going to be in the National League and heard from in the next little while. In fact, the under-18s that won the World Championship, one of their defensemen, Colby Roback, was a descendant, or not a descendant, but came from my hockey school. And great hockey player, and he's going to be heard from. He'll be top 10 in the draft this year, so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm sure they still remember you in Dauphin.
Oh yes,
stamping grounds.
Yes. I go back and I'm on the radio a lot there and that kind of stuff, and I really enjoy it. It's a great town. They've just been awarded the 2010 Rawbank Cup,
right,
and they've had the Safeway curling in the last year or two, and that kind of stuff. So they're big, and I really enjoyed being involved with Labatt's in the curling part of. I was at a lot of Briars and really enjoyed it. It was a fun time, and we had a great association with the CCA. So,
Bob, what about your feelings of being a member of the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame? What does it mean to you personally?
Well, in the very first class that was elected to the Hall of Fame, I was one of the players in that. And for me, that was a big thrill because I enjoyed playing ball in Manitoba, and as much as I enjoyed playing hockey, perhaps more. And I think my family really enjoyed it. I know my wife, for the most part, enjoyed it, although she didn't like the tournament parts because you were sitting around all day and that kind of stuff. But she really liked the league parts. And hockey she really enjoyed too. She's a great hockey wife. We've been together now married for 52 years, so it didn't cause any big big problems in any way. But I enjoy being in the Hall of Fame and of baseball, and in the Hall of Fame of hockey in Manitoba, and that's that kind of warms your heart when you're a Manitoban at heart.
You've been listening to the reflections and the memories of Bob Kabel, a member of the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame.